It is PowWow.
The PowWow with Mo podcast.
What up, and welcome to the PowWow with Mo podcast. I am Mo.
I am PowWow.
And this is episode 35.
Yep. 35.
Fuck Kevin Durant. Oklahoma City Thunder for life, even though we got destroyed.
Right.
So anyway, the first thing I want to start with is my wife drinking naked juice. Did not do what I wanted it to do.
Okay, I was going to say, did it cause her to do what the name says?
Saw it in the fridge. It says naked juice. And I was like, fuck yeah. And then she drank it and was like, that was disgusting. This is gross. So she went to this crazy Chinese doctor. Mm-hmm. I'll wait till she comes on someday to tell the story because it's a good one. And I've heard a miracle story this dude did with her sister to like where I'm like, he has superpowers or they have magic in the Eastern countries.
Yeah.
But basically she's allergic to everything. So now she's trying to figure out a way to eat nothing but somehow still be alive. So that's been a really fun few days.
That's a little nuts.
So that's been my stress in my life because I just basically go hide somewhere to eat. Or if I do eat, I feel really guilty about it because it's my dog and her staring at me while I'm eating a piece of meat. Like maybe he's going to drop scraps and I can eat them. So it's a very scary place in my house. So what's been going on with you, man?
So, well, I've been coaching softball quite a bit.
Oh, yeah, we missed last week, too. So that happened.
Yeah.
And I would have found a replacement, but it was kind of last minute-ish, so it just was hard to do.
It was a little nuts. My voice is still slightly gone from yelling this week.
Yeah, and then we were going to do a makeup on the middle of the week.
Yeah, but I
met you
sounded
for
terrible.
lunch, and you sounded like an old cartoon character lady.
It was nuts.
Like when we had lunch, the waitress was like giggling every time you talked.
It was bad.
That's how weird you. And I was like, well, fuck, I guess we're not doing an episode anytime soon.
Yeah, that one's still. I mean, I finally got over that, and then there was this tournament this weekend, and it caused me to lose it again.
Right. Oh, and next week you probably won't be on, so I'm taking anyone who wants to be on that can be here next weekend. Email us or let me know.
Yeah, for sure.
And you can be on. That's how I'm going to handle that one.
Yeah, I like it.
All right.
So one thing I wanted to bring up, and this is actually requested by one of the listeners, Wyatt, had asked that we talked about Nathan Larson.
And off the top of my head, no idea what that is.
So he is a U.S. congressional candidate from Virginia.
Oh, the pedophile guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so this dude's 37 years old. And just a little bit of a backstory. He spent 17 months in federal prison for sending a letter saying he was 14 months, threatening to kill the president. And he was barred from running for office. However, the Virginia governor, which is a Democrat that they point out in this, gave civil rights back to thousands of felons that included Larson, who ran for office in 2017.
Fucking Democrats fucking everything up like
right?
normal. Giving civil rights to the felons.
So this guy says that feminism is a problem and rape is the solution.
Shit.
So
Hot takes in Virginia.
He has a 3,300 word essay that is titled, "Here's How to Psych Yourself Up to Feel Entitled to Rape."
Yeah.
So just a few things. This guy has mentioned multiple times that he did rape his ex-wife, but he thinks it's okay because women fantasize about rape. Not that maybe she did, but just because women in general.
I think if you have a lady friend and they tell you that's their thing and y'all work it out and it's all consensual, you go for it. But yeah, I think forced rape, and I think rape in general, forced is implied, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
There's so many rules with the word these days. But my classic sense of the use rape, yeah, I don't think you can condone that.
This ex-wife, by the way, they had a 3-year-old daughter. He had a restraining order on the ex-wife. And as soon as the baby was born, the woman took her own life.
Okay. So it was like a rape baby is what we're saying?
I'm assuming. But he thinks it's okay.
I guess that sounds horrible. I don't mean it in like such a negative way, but you know.
Yeah. No, I mean, he believes that it should be okay for you to adopt, pick a boy or girl, and have sex with them. He believes in incest. He does believe that you should be able to rape. He is...
Dude, honestly, and this is how devil's advocate I am.
Yeah.
Is I bet I can imagine a valid argument that he would present in his papers. Right? I'm not saying I agree with them, but in some sort of capitalistic I had the money, I do what I want sort of society. I could see where people get down on this idea. But anyway, he ran for office, right?
Yeah, and he's running now.
So he's running now, and people are all...
Well,
like, what's his support like in his state, I guess, is my
so
question.
that's what I've been looking for, and I can't find much. But he says that people are
He's like
open-minded.
that crazy snake man, that runs for president every time.
Yeah, I mean, he says that people are open-minded. And so he thinks that his views on pedophilia should not disbar him from wanting to run.
All right, honestly, fundamentally, I agree. It shouldn't. And fundamentally, I believe that if you serve your sentence in jail for whatever that we've decided your sentence is, that should be your punishment. I do not think it is necessarily fair that when you get out of prison in America, it's like, okay, and then all this other shit you got to keep doing.
Yeah,
to me, like, once you're done, you should be done and not a criminal anymore. But all that being said, I think pedophilia, especially with very young people, from the sounds of it, is not forgivable in any sense.
Agreed.
So it's like, sure, fundamentally, if you murdered someone and you're like, but I found Jesus in jail and now I'm a good person, I'm running for office, totally different thing. But now you're still like, no, I'm doubling down.
Yes, I mean, he says
split
that
the aces on this pedophilia and child rape.
Agreed.
And just women rape in general. I'm not trying to say he's just a pedophile. He's a sexual abuser.
All around. I mean, in one of his posts that is called "Let's Define What Rape Is," he says objects, or referring to women, are objects to be taken care of by men like any other property. Again, this guy is, to me...
See, honestly, if you're talking about someone that's like, they take real good care of their land or their house, that's like a great statement. But
we're talking about a dude who openly admitted raping his ex-wife, but he doesn't think it should be rape because they were married. But I know, for one, that that's not true because one of Jill's family actually was put in jail because of this.
Well, it's more recently not true, for sure. For most cultures that we know of, for thousands of years, what you couldn't rape your wife. She was your property. That's the way it works. We just don't live like that anymore.
Agree. I don't see how this dude. I just don't see how you can have any support for him whatsoever.
I mean, maybe he wants to lower taxes.
Oh my God! Even if he went zero taxes, there's zero chance I am going to ever
how old is he?
37.
And he's into what? Probably like 14-year-olds? Is that what we're saying?
No.
Like 7-year-olds?
They were talking, he never defined an age. He said that any child that you would want to adopt at any age.
Let's say it's 1-year-old, right? That's a 36-year age difference. If he was 70 and that kid was...
But see, that's completely different. That's different. And I know what argument you're trying to go with. But no, completely different.
I mean, I don't believe it. I just wanted to throw it out there.
Yeah, it boggles my mind that someone hasn't just straight beat this dude, especially with the openly as he is about this, putting posts about it. And again, I understand that people are all different, but that's just some weird shit that shouldn't be allowed. I think that the left and right do disagree on majority of things and they agree very little, but I think that is the one area that they can both agree on.
Not so fast. There was a state, I wish I remembered all the details for this and I would have been all cool with not so fast, check this shit out, but I'm not that good. There was a state recently where there was somewhat of a battle of them having to put in age requirements on marriage because certain religious groups were wanting to marry underage girls. And then when the Congress were like, we're finally going to put a rule down, they were like protesting, like, how dare, that's our religious freedom to marry these 12-year-old girls. So there has been some areas where it necessarily isn't across the board.
Yeah.
But I mean, it has a pretty good Venn diagram.
Yeah, it's just a little nuts. But yeah, I had to bring that up. It blows my mind.
All right, the one thing I really want to bring up, and I was going to last week, so if our homie Shelton is listening, he acts like he does. My bad that we skipped a week, but I'm going to talk about it now. So our friend Shelton is in a band called the New Time Zones. I think the word does there. If it's not, my bad. I understand that's like a whole thing for bands.
Yeah.
Look them up. They're actually really good. There is one song, I'm going to see if I can pull it up right now on my phone, that like when I heard them play it live, I was like, very catchy. Very catchy. Now, I will get to them eventually, but just to let you know, I went with Skinny, our friend. Just for people to know out there, the way I describe Skinny is like, Well, an
skinny
old
black
white
guy.
country lady called him Little Wayne over and over while we were at the bar. So if that describes him, he has dreads, some tattoos, but he's like the black dude who would wear like tie-dye pants with a Confederate flag
Yeah,
t-shirt.
for sure.
He's just like that, right? He's his own character, and I like Skinny a lot. So
For
anyway,
sure.
you weren't going because you were out of town, and I didn't want to go by myself. I don't know people, and I don't really like talking to people except on podcasts. And hit him up, and he was like, "Sure, I'll go, man." So me and him go to this bar called Vintage 22, is where the New Time Zone's played at, and Shelton hit me up actually and was like, "Hey, do you happen to have a desk microphone stand?" And I just bought one for your microphone. So I was like, "Yes, I do." And they needed it for a drum kit or whatever. So I like saved the day with that one. But we show up.
Yeah.
The first guy was pretty cool. His name was Jarvix, I believe. And he was like a bigger white guy who had this little looper pedal, and he would make cool little beats, and then he would sing and shit. And he was his vocals weren't good, but he was like confident, right? And he done cool little shit, and I liked him a lot. But seeing him made me be like, fuck, I really kind of want to, I wish I would have performed music at some time, right? Because I haven't. And then the second band, I think you would have really liked because their drummer was a native dude, and he had like two eagle feathers in his drums, right? And I don't really remember their name. Host of Host, I want to say is what their name was.
Host of Host.
And I know it sounds bad, and it could be the way the mixing was in the live place. Maybe their live, their studio music isn't like this. The drummer was so good that it seemed like the drummer show with like these people that were kind of there to support him. And he was so loud, like you couldn't hear the vocals, you couldn't hear the guitars. I don't know. He just kind of stole the show, right, on theirs. And then Shelton's band, New Time Zones, were the third band to play. And there was a drunk girl there, by the way, that I guess works there, but didn't work that night. Real drunk, going around yelling "rock on" and dancing, and really stole the show, honestly, from the bands. Like the bands could have stepped it up to match this one girl's energy level,
But she was on another level.
she was on another level for sure. And then anyway, Sheldon's band was his drummer's really good. His lead guitarist was really good. Our friend Sheldon's the singer. Now, I think if I didn't know him, I would like the music more, and I'm not trying to hate it at all. But I just hear Shelton when I hear his voice.
Yeah.
Just like I'm sure people hear me when they hear me rap, and they're like, well, I don't want to hear him say that. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed, like I said, there were some little riffs and shit on some songs where I was like, catchy as fuck. It's really good. And I'll probably listen to them. Maybe I'll get him to send me a song we can play on the end of one of these
That'd be cool.
episodes or something. And he said he will try to be on an episode someday. He just had to be at work the next day and couldn't be on.
Yeah.
But I thought they were really good. Not a very good turnout. I mean, it was also the summer in a college town when everyone's went home. But we'll see. If he'll come
I
back
think if he
or
did
whatever.
it all during the school year, it probably would have been packed.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I was kind of glad it wasn't packed for me.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
And so when I sat down, there was a group of Zetas, which is a sorority that was here that you were more familiar with. 5 points. Sorry. I'm always saying that because some of them claimed they were going to listen, and I wanted to talk shit.
For
So
sure.
someone we like, or at least remember. So I sit down, and people were like, "Oh, Mo too good to talk to us." And I'll be real honest, didn't even see them. They were 2 foot from me.
Didn't even see 'em.
Didn't see them. I sat down next to Skinny. I was like, "Oh man, people are here, and I just bought alcohol, and I haven't drank since my wedding, and I'm drinking and open a tab. So we're gonna see how this whole thing goes. 'Cause I don't really do that often."
Yep.
And anyway, so I saw them, and then they were like, he has a podcast, and then someone else is like, what's your podcast? And I go, it's me and PowWow. We have a podcast. And they're like, oh, that's cool. What's it called? And I go, the PowWow with Mo podcast. And they looked at me like I was a fucking idiot. And then they're like, well, I'll check it out. So that's one person who claimed they would check it out. Doubt it. Carol, who is our fraternity brother's wife.
Yep.
We love Carol. Carol's awesome.
Carol's
she
cool.
starts off with, oh, I love your podcast, blah, blah, blah. Like 5 minutes later, she's like, so the one episode I listened to. And I was like, Carol, we have 34 fucking episodes. What are you talking about the one episode? You don't listen. And so I gave her shit to try to guilt her into it. And then the last person that mentioned they listened to it was Brittany. I don't know her last name now. And she bullshits a lot, like just in general. And if she really does listen, sorry if that's offensive, but she just is always bullshit, at least with me and you in particular,
sure.
and I'm assuming everyone else, to where she was like, oh yeah, I listen while I'm cleaning the house. I was like, oh really? That's cool. She's like, yeah, I listen like all of them. And I just don't believe it, right? Because if you know Brittany, you're like, I don't believe you. And then later she was like, she described the conversation we would have, like an example of one. And I was like, damn, she may really listen. So I don't know if she does or not. But anyway,
So if you do, Brittany, email us at thepowwowwithmo@gmail.com.
for sure. So anyway, that was my night out. I try to get us some promotion there. Shelton has listened, so that's at least one person.
For sure.
That's because I know that he has liked our shit. So anyway, that was my night out. Shout out to Skinny. I was gonna have Skinny on last weekend, and now Skinny is the quietest person I know, probably.
For sure.
Like, he's just not talkative, just not. And it's cool. Like, you can hang out with him, and he doesn't expect you to talk or him to talk. You can just hang out.
Literally just chill out with him.
He's great. But I was like, hey, Skinny, I might need you on the podcast, and he just started giggling. Like, me on a podcast? And I was like, never mind. So that one didn't happen.
That's crazy, man. So I want to go ahead and bring this up with Roseanne.
Yes.
So
like when she sang the national anthem?
No. When she sent out the tweet, the infamous tweet now that's been deleted because of, Ambien, that causes you to...
Real talk, took an Ambien. I honestly get it. I mean, like, I don't think it makes you racist. I do think it makes you not know what the fuck you just did.
Yeah.
I think you have to have the racist thoughts there.
Something has to be
but
that bottom line.
100% she could have took an Ambien, thought she went to sleep, and woke up and that shit happened. That 100% could happen. But real quick, I think the exact same time we bring up the Roseanne story, we have to bring up the NFL story as well. Because the NFL made a rule that if players are going to be on the field, they have to stand for the anthem or they can sit in the locker room. Honestly, my first thought on that was, cool, it's a good plan, a good deal. Apparently, that's not what some people are like, they all need to be standing, or they're like, we should all be able to kneel. And I've seen so many good videos and memes of like proving the points of, but like really my first thought was like, that seems like a good middle ground, but the irony involved in this whole, you better stand for this symbol of freedom, damn it. Like, right.
It is. It
like,
is funny.
how can you see that and not be like, that's stupid? Like, if it's a symbol of freedom, you have the right to blow. And it's like, and black veterans have fought and died for our country. And if they were like, well, I don't want to salute because of police brutality, you couldn't tell them they're fucking not honoring military, right? Because they would be military. So, real deep. But anyway, the reason I want to bring these together is because ABC canceled Roseanne's show, right? Because of it. And there's rumors that Fox may bring it back, which I'm like, I mean, you can't. I don't know. I liked it, honestly.
Well, I'd seen where they were talking about bringing it back without having Roseanne.
Oh, okay. Dan.
Well, I see someone said just put in Danny DeVito for Roseanne and don't say anything.
Be great. But anyway, so they canceled her show, right? And then same time, NFL made the rule like we just talked about. And now, here's where I'm at on it. Is we have, as I mentioned many a times on here, on like my Facebook friends and shit, very conservative, very liberal friends. All the liberals are like, yeah, Roseanne's canceled, but NFL players can ha ha ha. And then the other side's like, well, you were saying this, and now you're saying that, huh? And I'm like, y'all are all saying the same thing.
Exactly.
Like, but what do you believe? Do you think a business should be able to silence someone due to what they say, or do you not? All you're saying is, ha ha, look what happened to Roseanne when you liked for the NFL, and the other people are like, this is bullshit's Rose. I don't know. It's just like, how do y'all miss the point so much of like, but there's like an actual
same
question.
Argument, just two different sides.
Right, like there's a real question here, and we're just fucking skipping it to be like, ha ha, look at that meme. And I get it, because I fucking love memes. I love them.
And like Sideshow posts the best, like yes. By far.
Well, Reddit has the best memes because they're a few days early than what you'll see on Facebook. But my Facebook did an update on its own a couple days ago, and now if I get on Facebook, I last 2 seconds, and then it says Facebook failed, and it restarts, and it just does that in an endless loop. So I'm effectively off Facebook again until that's fixed. So I'll need you to share this one whenever it is posted. And anyone else, please share our podcast. That would be dope.
For sure.
All right, so have you heard of the Drake Pusha-T stuff?
Yes.
I'm going to have somewhat of a hot take here. So for anyone who hasn't heard, Pusha-T and Drake, first off, have been beefing forever. Drake should have never responded, because first, Pusha-T more recently released a song called Infrared. I didn't listen to it. And then basically hated on Drake. And then Drake released a song in which I was like, stupid, you're a huge pop star. you gain nothing from this. I think
Agreed.
in his mind, he gained respect and rep and all that shit, right? But he put out what I think is a really good diss song of this whole Duppy freestyle. Here's my hot take. I think it's actually better than Pusha-T's, and everyone, like I would say 98%, if not more, of people are like, Drake's dead. Pusha-T song was so fucking gangster, so good. And I'm like, no, Pusha-T song revealed Drake had a love child that he doesn't claim. It might be a shitty dad.
Yeah.
I don't think the actual raps were better though. Like I really truly feel like Drake is bars for bars. Like he went that whole like Pusha T's music career, like why he isn't what he thinks he is as a musician. And I thought that was worth more to me than being like, oh, really rich guy who fucks a lot of women happens to have a baby by a model that he doesn't want to pay for. Like, I don't know. That just seems way like believable. I don't know. It just wasn't that surprising to me. So anyway, the whole world is against Drake, and I don't like love Drake. I like a lot of his songs, but I just, out of the two songs, I really thought Drake's was a little better. And I'm so in the minority that I haven't told anyone, because like everyone just like fucking push forever, and I'm like, I don't know.
I mean, I guess maybe I'm not into it enough to care really that much anymore. When I seen it, I was like, oh, I'll do a little research and see what's going on. And to me, I agree that is the one statement that you can take away. But and I'm trying to remember, maybe it was Jay Prince came out and said that he called Drake and said, hey, don't respond. Something about how you don't want to get into a pig pen with pen because pigs turn into hogs and hogs get slaughtered. Something of that nature. I honestly want to see him respond because I want to see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think there has to be a certain way you handle it. Honestly, what sucks for me personally is I really like God's Plan, and then the other song that came out after that with the women in the video, right? And I was ready for the summer of Drake, just good jams. But now it's going to have to be retaliation songs or like him just being a different artist. He can't just keep putting out these sort of fun songs at the moment, given the climate there. Also, something I've noticed is I've gotten a little ballsier in my old age to where like I'll say stupid shit. Like the other day I was at Walmart and someone just parked in a little crosswalk and I was like, hey, good parking spot. Their window was down. And I would just never do that before, right? But I was like, what the fuck are they going to do? Well, like no one's going to do anything in it ever. So
no one will.
Little changes I've noticed in my life. I guess you stop caring.
Agreed.
I guess later on in life.
You stop caring about, being nice to everybody all the time.
And then something else I noticed the other day, kind of when I saw Skinny, basically, the people I'm closest to, I never shake hands with. Is that how it is for, I guess, everyone, probably? But like, for instance, me and you, I've probably not shook your hand since you visited here your freshman year.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's been a long time.
I'd probably rock that day, shook your hand, and was like, what's up, man?
Yeah.
And since then,
we just haven't.
Because why the fuck would I? It's weird. But now, like, if it's like a friend of a friend, someone you see every once, like, you shake their hand every time.
This is what you do.
Every time.
I think it's just being comfortable. Once you're that comfortable with somebody, you just stop.
Right.
In my opinion. Because I don't know.
And
except
it kind
for
of
Skinny,
happened because
I feel like Skinny does it all the time. Like,
right. And see, he doesn't with me.
Because he comes out, he's like, gives that handshake with a little half hug type thing. And I just...
sometimes he does that, I guess.
And
but like, I noticed it with Shelton because Sheldon wanted to, and I was like, it threw me off. Like, I just wasn't ready. I was like, and me and Sheldon haven't seen each other in a long time, but I feel close enough to Sheldon. I was just like, oh, what's up?
Yeah,
that's how I was, right? I was like, I don't know. Anyway, just something I've been noticing lately.
For sure. So, something I had seen again, National Geographic. That's my shit. In
Big
Yellowstone,
titties. I know what's up.
So in National Geographic, they came out with an article showing that Yellowstone, for the first time in, I think it's been just over 20 years, grizzly bears will be hunted again. And it's causing an uproar with some people, that have an issue with it. They're allowing, and this is what I want to put into context, they're allowing 22 of them to be hunted.
Okay.
And I'm like, I get it. I understand you don't want them all being eradicated.
But did they choose the 22?
No, they're just saying 22.
Okay. That's a little better. So what if they were like, you and you and you, you're all going to be the ones that get killed?
And again, they have around 700
Right.
They're going to take out 22 of them.
I mean,
I do think there comes a point in time where you have to control a species to make sure they don't overpopulate the area and start just. I mean, because it's a grizzly bear.
I guess I've always just want to know, what is our end game with the saving of the animals? Is it like, do we want them at full population that they once were? Like, because we would never get that with lions. Yeah. We killed all the lions. We went to walks. They killed us. And we're like, well, fuck that. We're going to kill them. And we do that with all the animals. And sure, now it's like poaching, and I get it. These animals necessarily aren't wild. But, like, if you look at America or a lot of European places, they're so civilized. And they've driven all of the animals away. But we look at Africa, and we're like, hey, Africans, you better not kill those animals we like looking at. And they'll be like, hey, guys, what happened to all y'all's fucking buffalo? Shut the fuck up.
Exactly, right?
We keep 40 of them over here, okay?
Exactly, yeah. It's like we got a whole 150 and got to the side.
They maintain their population over life. So I just think it's weird that we fucking punish these poor countries for doing what we all did that are developed countries thousands of years ago. Because it is safer if you just kill all the large animals. That's just a fact. And I know they're cool. But I don't know. I just think it's weird that we're so against it.
Agree. Anyway. And I just find it crazy because when it came out, I just seen a few of my, again, tree hugger friends that posted about it. And again, I understand, you can say what you want, believe what you want. But I'm just like, guys, it's 22. If they were like, you can kill all of them, right. I could see you having an uproar about it.
Well, and if they're bears, you kind of need to kill the males because they're a danger to the...
Well, they are allowing 12 of the 22 to be females. But I'm like, first off, if you're just handing out tags, how do you know that you're going to just kill 12 first? What if 22 get killed the first day?
It seems like you can't be too mad because if it wasn't for those people, they wouldn't exist anyway, the bears.
Agreed. And the thing that most people were hating on is that how slow... their ability is to bounce back on, but I'm like, it took 20 years and we went from 130 something to 700. Right. It's not bad.
Basically, if people have enough energy and time, they're going to bitch about something. And that's just how you know their life's pretty good. It's like when you can complain about that kind of shit, then normally things are pretty good in your life.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really fucking matter.
It really
does. It does, but it doesn't.
No, it doesn't really.
So I've kind of, after I've gotten these new microphones, started rapping a little bit. We're going to see how that goes. I have written a whole song, before even recording it, and I'm going to see if I can record it. It's kind of veering a little out of rap, like classic rap, I guess, so I don't really know what's going to happen, and I may never release any of it. I don't know. We're going to see. Yeah. But I'll try to let people know. And then I've lately really, really loved Lil Dicky, as you know.
Yes.
I'm like really into it. Apparently he has a pilot for FX.
Really?
Like his own show, and he basically shared some of like, this was his dream his whole life is to have this show. So I really hope it goes well for him. But I love Atlanta, and I love some other stuff on FX, and they don't always handle all their shows best. So
yeah,
we'll see how it goes. But I'm excited.
For sure. So I do want to bring up about the NBA Finals. The second game is currently playing right now while we're recording this.
In general, the basketball since we've last been on has been awesome. The whole conference finals was awesome. Game 1 was awesome.
For sure. I mean, it was great, and I was watching it on my phone because my wife is now addicted to Grey's Anatomy. And so I'm watching George Hill get to the free throw line. They're down by 2 at that point.
Right.
Or excuse me, down by one, excuse me. He shoots first one, ties it up. Misses the next one, obviously. J.R. Smith gets it, and I just didn't know what he was doing. I was like, okay, he's going to dribble out and shoot because that's what J.R. Smith wants to do. He wants to shoot a three-pointer. That's fine. I'm like, oh, LeBron's open.
Dude, honestly, my thought was the game glitched. Like, I played so much 2K, right?
Yeah.
That you were like, what the fuck? My dude glitched out. Pass me the ball. What the fuck is going on? That's like your thought.
Agreed. And again, I was like, and then you just see LeBron. Now there's all these memes about it. With LeBron pointing at him like, what the fuck are you doing?
I like the one with Pete Carroll and Beast Mode.
Like run the ball. Yeah, that was good. But it just boggled my mind. And then LeBron storms off like a pissed off teenager. Because he's like, I'm on TV. I'm just not going to say much more. I'm going to just storm and go sit down on the bench and don't say anything to anybody. And J.R. Smith.
Well, honestly, anything he would have said there probably wouldn't have been positive.
No, it wouldn't have been good. And
He grew up on Lion King just like us, sir.
But he looked stoned out of his mind. When he looked straight at him.
Oh, yeah. JR is... The way the NBA drug testing works, by the way, is they get 4 drug tests, period.
I remember, was it Jalen
Jalen
who was talking about it?
was telling Bill Simmons about it once, and so Bill Simmons always references. They get 4 drug tests. Once they have their 4th one, they know they're not getting any more for the rest of the season. So normally by the finals,
they've got it.
You're good. And honestly, I think they should be allowed to for pain management, but...
Just don't do it for a game.
I think some people could probably handle it. JR does not seem like the top that can.
But all I want to know is if he did.
He didn't know that he didn't know the score of the game. And to me, I've never played any competitive thing ever.
That you don't know.
Shuffleboard, foosball, football, like any of the real sports, fake sports, whatever. I know the score.
Yeah. And again, and this isn't just a rec game that you have to now maybe think about.
The only way I could forgive him is if they come out and they say like, there is no scoreboards easily to see from the court, the way the stadium's designed or whatever. But I haven't heard that. So
it blew my mind. And again, if he was stoned, I just want to know what kind of weed that was because that lasted a long ass time.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Most of your weed is not that long lasting for sure.
But second game is playing right now, and they're down by I think like 15 points before half.
Well, that's not good.
I think that was their one game to try to steal to see if they could win because I just don't think it's going to happen.
Right. So something I wanted to bring up. You remember the Harvey Weinstein thing, right? It was one of my first favorite episodes. Is our Harvey Weinstein episode, or the first one we talked about it really. On the day he turned himself in at 7:30, right in the morning. Arraignment started at 9:30 a.m. and $1 million bail was set.
Yeah.
He paid that. At 10 a.m. he was out of the door and on his way home. All right, so for everything he's done or been accused of, that's how that worked.
And I'm just like, we have friends that were in jail for months waiting on their arraignment.
To me, this is where our jail system is corrupt. The fact that you have money means you don't have to sit in jail. If you don't have money, you do. That's the whole point of why I'm bringing all this up. So, like I said, he was out at 10 o'clock. At 10:30 a.m., the courtroom was empty. And in the next case, so the man who goes after Harvey Weinstein was arrested on a warrant for not paying a $195 fine for weed, and then he was in jail since 7 p.m. the night before. And it's like, so someone doesn't pay a fine for $195, and then someone rapes, quote unquote, allegedly. I don't know what we ought to say here. These women, but because they're rich, well, yeah, they get to go home. And if you're just poor, you don't, and that's where the system's fucked. It's because you're supposed to be innocent or proven guilty, but in the meantime, how about just sit here in a fucking jail cell with the criminals? It's weird. It's a weird system we have.
To, obviously get better. That's what you do. You sit there with criminals and learn. So I don't know if you've seen the thing about Tesla's finances.
I have not.
So they have lost $3.35 a share in just the first 3 months of the year. While burning through $1.1 billion.
It's because they don't fucking pump their cars out fast enough. Those goddamn waiting list.
So, Goldman Sachs, their analyst, said that they need to raise $10 billion in 18 months. But my whole thing is, there's a lot of people invested into Tesla, right? What if they don't raise it? Are you going to just shut it down? Or are you going to keep funding them money?
Well, just depends on the people, what they decide to do.
I mean, I guess if he keeps making these electric semis.
He has people order them and shit. I mean, obviously, they probably need to pull back on something, but then again, they're just playing the long game. Netflix has never made a profit.
Really?
Not yet. I believe they're just waiting. They're doing the Amazon run where it's like, eventually, when we learn we have enough of the market, we will by a lot.
Except for Amazon. They just upped their freaking prices again on the Amazon Prime, which is bullshit. But I knew it was eventually going to happen.
What was cool is when me and my wife got married, I canceled my Prime and jumped onto her Prime. So that helped. Yeah. We didn't have to both have it. We could have done it before, but it was all like, I didn't realize that when we done it, we could still be separate. Because like if I bought her something, I didn't want her to be able to see what it was. Yeah. But it works.
For sure.
So, trying to think. Oh man, I totally meant to bring this up when we talked about the football thing, right? I'm sure you saw it, but in 1934, a German football team was banned for playing for a year after refusing to give the Nazi salute upon entering a stadium. Just saying it happened.
Oh my!
You never want an event that's similar to the Nazis. That's all I'm saying.
So, with you bringing that up, One last person I have to bring up here, and I don't know where I watched it on the news. There is a Chicago man. He was running. I don't know what district he was, but he doesn't believe the Holocaust happened. Because he goes 6 million Jews. You're kidding me, right? Yet he believed Jews are the reason that we are, having problems in this country, along with any other race besides white people. Because he says white people want white neighborhoods. It's just a fact. It's a very bold statement.
I just don't think I care. I mean, in general, sure. I think I would probably be uncomfortable if I was like the only white family in a non-white neighborhood. But then I'm thinking back, like, every black kid who lived in my town was like the only black family in the white part. Like, so like that's a horrible thing to think. But I understand like where there would be this fear, I guess. But really, insurance companies made people racist. I was watching this recently. There's a show on Netflix. I want to say it's called Explained. It's a little short weekly show.
Yeah,
and it might have talked about it on there. Anyway, it talked about it on something I've watched where once if a black person moves in and it affects your insurance rates because it's all of a sudden not a good neighborhood. Like,
are you serious?
Like that happened like in like the 50s,
yeah,
right? 40s, 50s and shit. So when that started happening, like white people kind of had to be like, or didn't have to, of course, but were naturally being like, well, I don't want black people moving here because insurances are going up and my property rate or value of my house to go down. Like that just happened. So it was like there was a financial incentive to be like, fuck you, minorities, get out of my neighborhood. So like I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying now knowing that you understand it a little bit more. Love like, and it wasn't like those people wanted that to happen, but the companies were like, well, if there's more black people, then this is more likely to happen, so we got to up your insurance and all that.
Yeah.
So like sometimes there's other shit that affects things, and obviously for a long time.
For sure. It doesn't stop.
That like it just kind of happened and snowballed out of control.
Yeah. So last thing I have, Mo, I have 2 houses down. I have some of these crackheads. They, take buckets of water from their one house to the other. I got some new crazy people. Cool. They don't live there. They live 2 houses down on my left side. I don't know what it is about the 2-house rule, but it's like 2 houses on my right, 2 houses on my left now.
It's like the government.
So I'm going to the tournament yesterday morning. We had to be out there. I think we had to be out there like 9 o'clock. So I leave at like 8:45. And I drive by and I have to slow down because I'm like, there's an air mattress right beside the road. That's a little weird. And then I see, oh, there's 3 people sleeping on this air mattress.
No.
In front of their house. Literally 10 feet from the road. People do not go the speed limit on that road whatsoever.
Right.
So I'm like, they must have just got drunk.
I would have actually ran over them probably.
But like, I don't know what's going on. So I was like, you know what? It's cool. So then I come back from that game. It's like 10:45. There's one chick still sleeping on it. And throughout the day, all they do is just move that underneath their tree and then move it back out. So I don't know why they're not sleeping in their house.
Saves money somehow.
I guess. But they have a nice brand new Chevy. I would have just put that in the back of the truck. And slept there instead of on the grass.
You don't want to get the truck dirty. You nasty ass people.
I guess. But it didn't make a lot of sense. But when I was coming back from my second game last night, I was a little hot and a little pissed how we played. And I was speeding a little bit. Cops, first off, sir, hide like no one's business.
I know. I think it's weird.
So this hypo, I come over the hill.
Dude, honestly, I just think they should all be camera systems. And if they catch you, send you a ticket.
Yeah.
I just think it's weird we're going to play a game.
Right. So like the last time I got pulled over, dude was semi-nice. And since I have got my concealed carry, I've honestly been wanting to get pulled over just to see what would happen. Of course.
It's like I shoot a cop.
No, not at all. I just want to see if I get treated differently because I have it or if I don't. This time I didn't because I was coming back from a softball game. So I'm like, shit, I get pulled over. And I knew I was going,
Officer, pull me over again tomorrow, please.
Right. 75 or so. And he comes up and he goes, I pulled you over. I go, yeah, I was speeding. I get it. So I hand him my driver's license. I go to get my insurance out and I look at it as I'm handing to it. And it says April 15th, 2018. I go, hey man, I'm sorry. I don't have my updated one. And he goes, oh, don't worry about it. It's all right. I'll run by your insurance, and he sees I've got my softball shirt on. He goes, so you play slow pitch? And I go, no, I actually coach, and we have a little conversation. He goes, all right, well, I'll be right back. So as soon as I see him get out of the car, I see the piece of paper in the hand. I'm like, well, shit, now I can get a ticket. I'm like, hopefully it's under 9, so it doesn't go on my driving record. And he comes up to me and goes, so where were you heading, by the way? I go, I'm just going home. You know, I got on a softball game, going to the house. And he goes, all right, well, you know what? I'm just going to give you a warning. And I wasn't used to this.
I know, it's because softball. Now I got to get into softball.
Now I know what I need to do. Just carry my coach's shirt in my car at any given time. And this is a hypo. Very nice guy the whole time. Wasn't a dick or anything the entire time. And I was like, all right, well, thanks. And he goes, hope you have a fantastic day, sir.
Yeah. Honestly, I think it's probably 50-50. Maybe even better. Maybe better odds than that. But it's just in your life when you have the shitty ones.
Yeah, honestly, those really stick out.
When you're a kid, and we were probably most of the time we were pulled over, like they do an extra job of being a dick about it. And it like honestly stays with you forever. And so like I'll have to have a couple more run-ins where things end well.
Yeah, right.
With cops, I think, until I'm like, they're okay.
Well,
but I've only had one good run-in, and that's when I got my PS4, and the guy pulled me over, and I explained the whole thing, and he was like, all right, well, I'll give you a warning. And he didn't even give me like a written warning or anything. I just got to go. But literally every other time I've talked to a cop in a situation, it has ended badly for me.
Yeah, and
because I'm honest, and that's a weird thing because everyone's like, just be honest. I'm like, okay, and I'll be honest.
And then they're like, nope,
about it.
Yeah. And so I was honestly surprised that I got that warning. But this is now the second time I've been pulled over in a few years and gotten warnings. So like I got this now.
I drive slow as fuck around here.
You do. See, I'm the 5 mile an hour over usually, but this time I was like 10.
I don't even care anymore. Like even going to work a 2-hour drive, I'm like walk that bitch in at 65. And now I'm listening to podcasts. Sir.
Just get it.
I think podcasts really changed it because I'm like, well, this one's 2 hours with Joe Rogan and Kevin Smith.
Then I'm going to be there in 2 hours.
Right.
I hear you.
So it's a little different. All right, the last thing I guess I can bring up, I mean, I like a bunch, but I'll save some. Stardew Valley came out on the Vita, which was that farming game. It was on PS4. I fucking love it. Like, way addicted. Like, I barely play God of War or Fortnite at all. I have to get in those two as well in a second. I love Stardew Valley. It's amazing. On the Vita, it crashes like a motherfucker. I had to restore my Vita, turn into airplane mode, so it never can sync up with my trophies. Because if it ever syncs up to my online trophies, because I already got the trophies on the PS4, right? So if it pings it crashes the whole game. And it's so frustrating. But I was on the Reddits, me and this guy figuring out how to fix it. And we did, so that was cool. But anyway, I played over 60 hours of that game, and it came out last Tuesday.
Jeez.
Not 5 days ago, like 12 days ago. So it's been like 12 days, and I put like 60 hours into it.
You put almost 2 full weeks of work in, sir.
Yeah. I'm sure it was paused here
in
and there,
less
maybe.
than 2 weeks.
Maybe it was paused somewhere. I don't know. I played it a lot. I really liked the game. Fortnite. Got pissed at it because I didn't get the kill someone with a trap trophy. I told you that the other day, right?
Yes.
Something happened on Fortnite that's kind of ruined a little bit of it for me. So I never got that one. I tried really hard and didn't get it. And then on May 31st, they did the new week challenges. And you would have known this already. I could have asked you the other day and you would have already known this. I could still get the kill someone with the trap. It's like I can still like week 4. And I have literally zero incentive now to even play it. Like I haven't even tried to get this week's challenges because I'm like, well, I'll just wait next week, try to double up and get all the challenges.
Yeah, well, and when you were bringing that up, I had thought about it after. I was like, I still can get week 1's challenge.
Right. So I thought there was like you had to get on this week, and that was like the cool shit about it.
Yeah.
And so when I thought that, it made me play the game more. Where now, for instance, this week, because I was like, oh, who gives a fuck? I was like, I'll just beat God of War.
Yeah.
And so I beat God of War. If you want to borrow, like if you really think you'll play it, I will let you borrow it. If not, I'm going to hold on to it and try to get this platinum trophy. But if you really want to play, like I have no problem letting you have it. This fucking Queen Valkyrie, the 9th Valkyrie, is the hardest, most frustrating. I've almost put my controller through my TV so many times last night. So like, it'll be a while probably to platinum it if I can ever fucking beat this difficult ass boss.
Yeah.
I could put it on easy. I will never do it because I refuse to do that shit in games.
No, you can't do that.
Anyway, I really want you to play because I think you would really like it. I just don't know how much time you have and shit.
Yeah.
I mean, you could take it when you leave here if you wanted. If you don't, I'll keep trying hacking away at this fucking Valkyrie thing until I fucking break through it. But there's so many like little things you have to get the platinum that I almost don't want to do it, and just be like, maybe in a year from now I'll want to replay the game and I'll do it then.
Platinum
Right?
it.
And I might do it that way. We'll see. And then that's basically my video games of the week, or last couple weeks, and how that's all gone. And then me and you went to the movies.
We did.
We saw Avengers. Now, I personally don't love the Marvel movies. They're okay here and like certain ones are good, I think. It was okay. I don't know. I honestly was totally on the side of the bad guy. Totally understands. I'm the type of person, I think, when I see a couple that has one kid, I'm like, good for you. And I see two kids, I'm like, you fuckers. And then when I see more than them, I'm like, you're ruining the planet.
You're messing
Why
up.
are you putting more people than will be leaving? Y'all need to all get on board. So, I mean, with a plan of I got to kill people to keep the universe going longer, it makes total sense in the world to me. The ones who survive and don't is all stupid and weird. I'm sure they have a plan or whatever. Honestly, because I told you I tried to watch Doctor Strange, but it kept fucking up on my Vita when I was at work, so I never got to watch it beforehand. My big takeaway from the movie is Doctor Strange. I don't want to say gay because that was what we'd say when we were like in 5th grade. But the equivalent of what we'd be like the most pointless, flamboyant, dumb movements. He's like, ooh, cast this spell while I wave my arm in a fucking figure eight. He looks, every scene he was in doing that shit, it took me out of it. And I'm like, why is Benjamin Cumberpatch or whatever fucking, he looks so stupid. And like, that was so shitty to me that it really distracted me from other shit going on. And I know like everyone hates fucking Star-Lord shit. And I was like, I didn't hate him for it. I don't know. My take wasn't the nerd take that I've seen online from people. No, but it was okay, I guess.
I think Star-Lord turned into Christopher Pratt, like being on Parks and Rec.
Right.
And Andy just started acting like him for a second.
Yeah, I would love, and Parks and Rec apparently may do a little small reunion. They said they would love to do it. All of them are on board. So.
I just want to see another Ron Swanson.
And then I also went and saw the Solo movie.
Yeah, that was
me and my wife. It's probably my favorite Star Wars movie.
Okay.
And I know it doesn't have like the best reviews or whatever, but personally, I hate the black and whiteness of the trilogies. All the trilogies have a very black and white, good guy, bad guy thing, right? And I think the new trilogy is like playing around with that a little bit with Kylo Ren, like he's a little gray. But I don't even love Han Solo in the original trilogy or anything, but I wanted to see this Han Solo movie because I love Donald Glover, and the main guy in this movie, he was on a podcast to listen to, and I really liked him, and I felt bad he was getting so much shit just because he's not Harrison Ford. It's like, guess what? Fucking no one's 20-year-old Harrison Ford. He doesn't exist anymore. So
yeah, you was Doctor Strange, and you can go back in time.
So it was weird that people were giving him shit, right? So I was like, I'm gonna go see this. Now I will say, and I read this in a review after I watched the movie just to look it up. I thought, and this person were the exact thing, that the projector was broke during the first 15 minutes of the movie because it's so dark and blue. Like the planet they're on is very, very blue.
Really?
But it's like the film's not bright enough or the lighting wasn't good enough. The projector is how I thought about it. But then again, the rest of the movie looked fine. And this review I read said the same thing. It was just kind of hard to tell what was going on. So maybe if you were at home, you could crank up the brightness setting or whatever. It would look a little better. So that was really my only gripe about it. There's also, it's very quick, and you can't really tell if it wants to be a comedy or a heist movie. It goes back and forth a lot. But in general, I thought it was a pretty good, fun movie. It has my favorite villain of any Star Wars ever. Makes a cameo at the end. And you're like, after that happened, I started like trying to place timelines, right? Like, what's going on here? So anyway, I liked it. I don't think they should do a Lando spinoff, even though I do love Donald Glover. I just don't see the character being deep enough for that, and people are talking about it. But to me, they've set it up as they could have a sequel and all that. But I guess I need to know, because I'm not, again, a huge Star Wars fan, how old Han Solo is when he meets Luke Skywalker. I assumed he was like 30. Mm-hmm. And if that's the case, and I know how old he is in this, like, because you don't really get that information. So it's like, well, how long until that happens so we know if they've done a sequel, what do they have to play with or whatever, you know? But anyway, I thought it was pretty good. But again, all these people have to be dead that are main people in this. They're like the quote-unquote bad guys by the time Luke Skywalker comes up,
around,
right? Because they're not there. Unless they are quote-unquote there, but they're just I don't know. I don't know enough about the shit, but I really liked the Solo movie. I was glad I saw it. Now the only movie left out at this exact moment I want to see is Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
And then if, I know Incredibles comes out soon that I really want to see.
July. But again, I'm going to wait for the first week for all the kids to get out the way so I can.
I'm just going to go like a midnight showing. I feel like most people won't take their like little kids to a midnight showing. And then I saw some trailers that I went and saw Solo that I want to bring up to you. There were 2 trailers I liked. Didn't the Jungle Book movie just come out?
Yeah.
Like a live action one?
Like
they're making another one, but it's not Disney, it's Warner Brothers.
Really?
And it's called Mowgli. But it's basically like a lot, and it has like a lot of really famous actors doing the voices and face stuff.
Really?
It was just really surprising seeing that. I was like, what the fuck? They just
did
this.
one.
And then there was a awesome comedy western with John C. Reilly and Joaquin Phoenix, 2 of my favorite people ever, called The Sisters Brothers.
I seen
shit looks good. I'm ready to see that one as well.
Yeah.
And then Netflix has a new show I really like. You remember that Michelle Wolf lady who got in trouble for comparing Sarah Huckabee Sanders to Aunt Lydia at the White House Correspondents' Dinner?
Yeah.
Great joke, by the way. Had nothing to do with her look. Y'all got to watch the show to understand it.
It's funny.
She has her own show on Netflix now, right? It's her second week. I just watched the second episode. She's super funny. Like her voice is very high pitched and a little annoying at first. Mm-hmm. But the joke quality, I'm sure it's her writers and her, right? Fucking great. And there's no commercials because it's a Netflix show.
Netflix, yeah.
But they make fake commercials.
Really? That's
And the
awesome.
fake commercials are my favorite part so far on both episodes. And they're dumb. Like Koopy, my wife, thinks they're stupid. She's like, why are you laughing so hard? And I'm like, this is fucking great. This is like great sketch comedy. So I'm a big fan. Like, I highly recommend it. It's another good weekly little, she, it does like a little current of it. It's like a daily show, like a little small daily show for Netflix. But I like her take on it. Like the first episode, she hates on like basically like not because you're a feminist doesn't mean you have to approve all women. Mm-hmm. Like some women are fucked or whatever. I don't support you. So I just like her take. She was really funny.
For sure.
Enjoyed it. All right, so I guess we ran long here. We need to take a quick break. I'm cool with this running long because you won't be here next week, so we got to do it. When we come back, we might do a story. I don't know. We'll figure it out. And then we're doing top 5 favorite cereals.
Yes.
All right, it's a plan. All right, and we are back. So, PowWow.
All right, guys. So, if you guys have any questions, suggestions, or corrections, please email us at thepowwowwithmo@gmail.com. That's THEPOWWWWITHMO@gmail.com.
All right, and this week we do have one email from Snappy.
Sweet.
Basically, he's just writing out and paraphrase a lot of this because it's a little long. Writing in to me on the whole evil genius thing. That he wasn't really saying it was really good. He was saying episode 3, a lot of the people reminded him of my hometown of Waurika because they're a bunch of dumb redneck people. And I agree.
For sure.
And then the fact that it happened in 2003, but their video film looked like the 1970s somehow. And this small town was also funny. But then he says the problems nowadays with kids is they're unable to accept punishment because it's justified in their mind. They have no discipline at home and no discipline at school. Kids nowadays have been babied and taught it'll be okay, and they're all anarchists and believe the rules do not apply to them because they were made by religious white men and they don't believe in that shit. I don't know if that's why.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say, especially in our state, 90% of people under 18 are religious, which would claim a religion. Mm-hmm. So I don't agree with that. I think a lot of them do think the rules don't apply to them, but I think it's because I think you see a lot of people breaking rules and getting away with it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, why can't I do that? And they don't know it's because those people's parents are rich.
Yeah.
And that's like this whole thing we don't discuss, right?
For sure.
I don't know, but I kind of agree. I don't know, kids are crazy. I feel like they've always been shitty and fucked, and then all of us,
social media.
when we all get older, we all get old crabby and stuff, and it's just right. It's amplified through social media. Like old people are always bitter and bitchy, and young people are always stupid. It's just now we see it
Exactly.
all the time. just how it is. And then it says the only show he would want to see another season of is The Sopranos because he hated the last episode. I've never watched it, Sopranos. I know I showed and all that, but I do know what the last scene is because I've heard the creator on a podcast talking about it. And when he explained why he did it, I was all on board with his artistic vision, but maybe as a fan, I wouldn't be. And then it said, to you, I'm kind of talking about his whole judo championship because, we told him he was going to participation trophy. And so he explained how he actually wrestled and blah, 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 and taught and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So we understand. We just want to give you shit because you're conservative.
That's exactly what
you're
we're
all
doing.
vocal about it, you Trump lover. All right. So I said let's just skip a story this week since we're already a little long. And I don't really know one to tell at the moment. All right, so this week we're going to do top 5 favorite cereals.
Yes.
Kind of like breakfast cereals, but whatever. It doesn't matter. It comes in a box and our bag and all that stuff.
Yeah, first of all, let's get that real quick. You had brought this up, and I had to go to Walmart and see how many of them. When we grew up, if you had the bag cereal, that's the off-brand cereal.
Yeah.
Now, it can be any off-brand or non.
Something I was very proud of as a kid, this is dumb, is we were poor, but I threw a fit to where we did not get the nasty off-brand bag
You
cereal.
got the boxes.
We had the box cereal.
Exactly.
And my mom would be like, no, everyone else gets this. So your friend. I go, yeah, and it sucks. That fucking Crunch knockoff
They're
bullshit.
like, it's $1.50 less and you get 3 times the amount.
It's like, but it doesn't taste the same. It tastes shitty. And sure, if I would have never had the real shit, I probably would have liked it.
Yeah.
But I had the real shit.
And so you don't,
And I couldn't go back, sir.
For sure.
Go back.
So yeah. All right. Starting it off, my number 5 is going to be Golden Crisp.
Okay. Golden, that's the one with the bear?
With the bear. Honey Smacks were the ones with the frogs.
Okay. I personally hated this cereal, both of those, when I was a kid. It was so bitter. There's something about it that I just didn't like. Now, as an adult, I've eaten it, love it.
I was like,
as a kid, I just didn't. But if I had to choose between the mascots, I thought the frog looked cooler. But again, they weren't really my thing.
Yeah, no, I don't know why we started getting them, but I really like them, and I don't eat. You eat cereal like I feel like at least 3 times a day.
I used to. I don't eat as much anymore.
Yeah.
I used to eat a lot, but it was also my mom's go-to. My mom didn't cook a lot. She gets pissed when I talk about it. She wasn't good at it. But a lot of times it was we're eating cereal or not, and that's just how it was.
Yeah,
and
you got
I
a
eat
box
cereal. Yeah.
Yeah, and so now I got it not too long ago, and I think I ate like half a box in like 2-3 days.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Golden Crisp. I liked it a lot when I was a kid, but growing up, the more I had it, the more I really, really liked it.
Right.
Now it's not something
it's
that
a cool one that I will say a benefit of it is you can do little milk and it's really good.
Yeah, and it's just fine. I don't know. I'm one of those people. I don't like milk in general. So I try drinking putting as little as possible in the bowl because I won't drink it afterwards. Again,
to grown up, I wanted as much milk as there was cereal, but now I try to do a lot less because I'm like I don't want to drink all that.
Exactly. But yeah, a Golden Crisp had to have it number 5.
All right, my number 5, and honestly, this list was really hard. There's a lot I've left off that I'm like, they deserve a spot.
Mm-hmm.
So my number 5 is Reese's Puffs.
That's a great choice.
I remember when they came out when we were kids for the first time, and I just think they're better Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah,
that's really where I'm at. Cocoa Puffs are all right, but Reese's Puffs. Now I will say a big disadvantage to Reese's Puffs, and why they're only number 5, they're barely on the list, is because they do not have good milk. Like the milk when you're done is not good.
You expect it to be delicious.
Expect it to be good. No,
it's not.
But the cocoa, the peanut butter mixture of the little balls, I think it's great. I love me some Reese's Puffs. Whenever the NBA 2K game came out, if you bought a box of Reese's Puffs, you got virtual currency. Bought a bunch of Reese's Puffs, and then I just sat there and ate them all day, so I could hurry up and get to the box and go buy another box.
For sure,
looking like a crazy person.
All right, so my number 4 is going to be Cookie Crisp, the old school Cookie Crisp, not the new one.
Right, the one with the
robbers,
yes. Not this fucking
not the wolf or whatever. Yeah,
wolf.
fox, whatever it is. That Cookie Crisp because For me, it was like literal miniature cookies as cereal.
And being like their little chocolate chip cookies in a
Exactly.
fucking bowl and just being blown away by
You're
it.
like, I actually get to eat dessert for breakfast.
It was great. Loved it.
For sure. But now, because I have tried them recently, they are not what I remembered them. And
Not at all.
maybe it's just, I don't know if it's that they actually changed or my taste buds are just different.
No, they're changed, sir. A lot of cereals have changed.
Agreed. I mean, I won't eat them now, but if I could get the ones from like 90s and bring them back now, then I would destroy a box.
Right. I will say my number 4 and number 3 might be the only 2 cereals that haven't changed that I can think of. But my number 4 is a classic Frosted Flakes.
I've got that as my number 3.
All right.
So perfect.
Well, then... No, so that's next.
Yeah, so that's perfect.
That is perfect. Damn it. Now, I remember as a kid, my grandparents, I say my grandparents a lot, had cornflakes all the time with a cool fucking logo. Cornflakes, one of the dopest logos.
Yeah.
Cereal box. They're out the little rooster.
Yep.
It was really cool. And I'd put sugar on it or whatever, and you would eat it, and it'd be great. And then Frosted Flakes was like, my mom bought it, and I was like, what?
Exactly.
And I'd still put sugar on it.
But see, I didn't do that.
I learned that off the cornflakes. And I don't now, but as a kid, I would. And I have recently done it because I was just like, I'm going to try it.
Yeah.
And it is so much better, honestly, to pour sugar. Because, you do the scoop. I'm sure even some cereal you put sugar on. And you do that scoop technique so you can get like some on the...
Yes.
And you want to you want to get the right ratio on the spoon.
Because you can't get too much.
Because you get too much, it'll fuck it over.
Exactly.
And you want to leave some for the other bites.
Yeah, exactly right. I know
Very
what you're talking
strategic.
about.
Very strategic. So cornflakes, I remember I would put sugar and my mom would like catch me and be like, you don't need sugar. Those are Frosted Flakes. And like yell at me. I'd be like, I thought they were cornflakes.
They look the same, Mom.
She's like, Tony the Tiger's on that one. Like, starts yelling at me, right? But I love Frosted Flakes. Even now, like, it's probably the one cereal where I'm like, yeah, let's just get that family size. That one that's like 8 times the size of all the other boxes.
It's like
There's one shelf in my whole house that'll fit it.
exactly because it doesn't even. I have to put it at an angle to get it on there to set it up. It's so bad, but no, I love Frosted Flakes. Even now, I will destroy some Frosted Flakes.
Oh yeah.
But no, see, I never put sugar. But see, we usually had the only thing I really put sugar on like Cheerios, Raisin Bran, or something like that.
Right.
But no, Frosted Flakes. I think it'd be too much sugar.
I mean, it can be.
You know what I mean? Like, I just think it would be because it's already pretty sweet. It's frosted.
It's something you would do on the first bowl. It's on a second bowl because Frosted Flakes milk's sweetest of the milk.
Yeah.
And so, for instance, let's say you do your first bowl of Frosted Flakes, and you go back for a second bowl with the milk you still have, and you put like a little more milk or however you do it. That milk, the second time through milk, is too sweet. Like it'll hurt your teeth. It's like
It's like I'm getting cavities on every bite.
But it's worth it.
For sure.
I've heard there's a cereal bar wherever, I don't remember where it was at, and they basically just pour milk into like a cup of cereal and shake it like a martini and then dump the milk out, but it gets flavored like the cereal, and you can buy like Fruit Loop milk and Frosted Flake milk. And I'm like, sounds delicious to me.
See, I mean, again, I'm not a
It has
huge
to be
milk
certain
person.
brands.
Yeah.
Couldn't be all cereal brands for
sure.
But,
So,
all right.
yeah, number 3 of mine was Frosted Flakes. So what's your number 3?
All right, my number 3, another one that probably hasn't changed, is Honey Nut Cheerios.
That's a great choice.
I liked a lot of I liked Frosted Cheerios growing up. I liked Olympic Cheerios. You remember those? There was like 5 different types of Cheerios all in one because it made
All
the Olympic
different,
rings.
yeah.
And I really enjoyed those. There's a lot of good Cheerios.
Mm-hmm.
But the most consistent throughout my life of what I love is Honey Nut Cheerios.
Agree. I mean, if it was regular Cheerios, I don't know if I had to have
It's
sugar
like-
and bananas.
It's the healthiest good cereal, or it's the best healthy quote unquote cereal. Because I don't think it's really probably healthy. I don't know though, but they always act like good for your heart somehow. I don't know.
See, you bring that up. There was, and maybe it was on Conan or Jimmy Fallon, that guy who does that keto diet.
Right.
And he was like, cereal's terrible for you. People believe it's good for you. He goes, but I eat cereal every day. He goes, whenever he went to get, the fit to fat to fit, whatever. And I always thought cereal was good for you. At least some of them, not always all of them.
Well, we don't technically need oats and grains in our diet, technically. And you could go on a full keto, but guess what? It's pretty expensive to figure that one out.
Yeah.
Any diet's expensive because it's cheap, fast food. You know it's not on a diet, fast food. It's all bullshit.
For sure. I mean, I've seen that meme where it's got like, this is $15 of
No,
McDonald's.
it's 1,700 calories.
Yeah.
of McDonald's versus 1,700 calories of like vegetables. It's like way easier to carry than McDonald's.
Exactly right. Oh man, but yeah, that's good. So my number 2 is gonna be Fruit Loops.
All right, I took them off because you'd hinted that you might have had them.
Yes.
Growing up, I liked them, didn't love them, and then like I said, in college for some reason, got this big stoner kick of loving Fruit Loops. And I know each color tastes exactly the same, but in your mind,
and some of them are different, and so you like kind of scoop off some of the reds.
And something I never do now, but as a kid, I did all the time with a lot of different cereals. I ate all of that color.
Yeah, you're like, oh, these are the cherry ones.
I mean, all the reds and then all the greens and all the
exactly.
purples. I got done it in like an order like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I like Fruit Loops. Fruit Loops are good. When they get soggy, they're done. But they stay firm a lot longer than a lot of others.
They do. They stay a lot more firmer than my number 1.
Right. Okay. My number 2 is like trying to think what to be a good comparison. It's like the pleasure and the pain, if you will.
Oh, I know what you're going with.
So I'm going with Captain Crunch berries.
Captain Crunch. Yep.
I like the Crunch berries.
Okay.
Because I like the berries in there. I even love Oops All berries.
But
if I had to choose,
I was going to ask you, do you?
I like the yellows with the colors. I like it all. But I know for a fact when I buy a box, the roof of my mouth's done.
Oh yeah,
it's done.
You're getting cut up like no other.
But it's worth it. And I even like right now, feeling my tongue on the roof of my mouth, know which spots will get because I got like these 2 little flat parts like in a certain spot. And I'm like, those are fucked. Those are gone.
No orange juice for me for a week.
Right. And then the thing is, I'm like, well, I might as well eat 2 bowls. And then you're like, fucking destroyed. And you're like, well, that was worth it.
It's like you got braces in or something.
Yeah. I always enjoyed Captain Crunch. It's probably growing up might have been my favorite cereal. Might have been my number 1, right? If this was like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I like their mascot. Thing's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, something we haven't brought up, our back of boxes were a big deal when we were kids. And the back of boxes of Captain Crunch are always good. I wish I knew which one were Post and which one were General Mills and like the difference between them. But I never kept it all straight.
No.
But anyway, number 2 for me is Captain Crunch berries.
For sure. So my number 1 is the one that lasts the least longest in a bowl once you put milk on. That's Fruity Pebbles.
Agreed. Now, actually, I take back my last statement a second ago. If this was 15 years ago, Fruity Pebbles would have been it. I loved Fruity Pebbles growing up. And then there's just some point in time where I realized, like, no, it's only good when your bowl's over half full.
Yeah.
It's not even a length of time thing, really, to me. To me, it's more of a, as soon as you get less than half to where you can see, like, when you can see a good amount of milk, it's all a chore after that.
Oh, agree.
It's all a chore chasing little bitty fucking pebbles. And then, like, if you're smart, you're like, I'm going to pour more fucking pebbles in. But then eventually you're going to get to a part where it's just a
soggy
chore.
mess.
And then you're like, well, I got to drink all the milk with just a little pebble hitting the back of my throat every once in a while. Because that's just how we're going to have to do it. Because I can't get all these. So that's why I didn't put it. But I did grow up loving them.
For sure.
But there just came a point in time where I was like, I will not buy these anymore. And I look at them now because I love the Flintstones.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, those Fruity Pebbles look really good. But I just start thinking, no. The only way they're going to be good, and I always want to do this because I'm an adult now, and I always envisioned this as a kid, is I want to go get the biggest fucking mixing bowl we have. And I want a whole box. I want a whole box of cereal. And
oh, man.
We had this youth pastor when I was a kid who talked about doing it, and his wife would corroborate the story, right? Like, he does it all the time. And I'd be like, fuck, I can't wait. And he'd be like, you got to use the big spoon with the holes in it so you don't run out of milk. And I'd be like, oh, fuck yeah, of course. And so I've always wanted to do it, but I never have. And I thought my wife will for sure judge me, especially now she's on this crazy you can't eat anything diet.
Have a big old mixing bowl full of it. That'd be funny.
That could be a good dinner plan when I get done here.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, my number 1, I think, is easily the best. Like, when I started my list, it was the only one that I was like, I put 1 period space, topped it out, like no thought needed, which is Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah.
Shout out to Golden Graham Crunch or whatever the fuck it is, Graham Cracker Crunch, because it's similar but not really.
It's not there,
and
but it's
French
close.
Toast Crunch, which I liked at first, then it fell off. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is the best. I don't even love cinnamon shit, but there's something about Cinnamon Toast Crunch that just is really fucking good.
For sure.
It's because each one is individually baked, and the fucking swirls and shit, and you got to see the little sparkles and all the other shit the commercials taught us. I don't know. It's just my go-to. If I had no cereal for however long, and then I was like, I'm going to the store and need cereal, it's going to be the one I probably grab.
For sure.
It's just my go-to.
Yeah.
It's good at breakfast because it's got cinnamons. And then it's good for a dessert because it's got cinnamon.
Use it at any time.
It's a fucking 24-hour cereal, sir.
For sure. So, some honorable mentions. You already brought up the Cap'n Crunch Berries and Reese's Puffs. Is Frosted Mini Wheats.
Oh, yeah. I actually have some of those now, and they were going to be on my list, but they got bumped off. That was because I mentioned the healthy cereal or whatever, the Honey Nut Cheerios. That's another one. My mom would buy a lot of Frosted Mini Wheats, and I would eat them and feel like, this is healthy.
Exactly,
but
right.
then you eat, like, non-frosted Mini Wheats ones,
Exactly.
and you're like, holy shit. This is disgusting. I'll take that Frost. And they have the best commercials, honestly, these days. Or they did little 3D Frosted Mini Wheat.
Yep.
Dude, helping people throughout their day.
See, and I don't know if it's just me, but whenever I eat the Frosted Mini Wheats, before I chew them, I flip them over where the frosted is touching my tongue before I bite.
Oh, no.
I don't know if that's everybody, but
Here's where I think it comes from. I think it's twofold. One, it's better. Two, the frosted side weighs more, so it normally goes
Flips
frosted
over.
side down. So when you scoop with your spoon, it's typically naturally that way.
Yeah.
And then you just go with it, and you're like, well, yeah, I need that.
But again,
sweetness.
that's one of those cereals that once you're done with that, or halfway through the bowl, the bottom part that's not frosted, it's going to start ripping itself off.
Oh yeah, and then it gets all like you. That's not. You don't drink the milk with a Frosted Mini Wheats, or you do, but you do it with like your fork as a strainer. Or I'm
It's
sorry,
like
a
drinking
spoon,
yak's
not a
milk
fork.
with some hair in it. Like no,
Right. So it is pretty gross, but I do it kind of. It reminds me of my ancestors. I feel like those tribes that drink the blood and the milk in the bowls.
oh my god.
Lucky Charms. I was gonna put chocolate Lucky Charms, but that was on our Munchie episode, and I was like, I don't want to put it twice. I do love chocolate Lucky Charms and normal Lucky Charms. You told me you cannot eat them.
I cannot. It's because, it was very recent. I mean, it was recent. I say it's like 3 or 4 months ago. Jill loves Lucky Charms, and so I bought. I was like, I'm gonna have a bowl, and I bit into a marshmallow, and it made me just shiver. I was like, well, that was weird. Let's try this again. Took another bite, and every time I bit into a marshmallow, I've got the feeling right now where you bite into it, and it just, I don't know what it is. It's like it hits some sort of nerve that makes your teeth just. And I had to stop eating it.
Yeah, that happened with sour straws in junior high, and I was very sad about it.
Yeah, so I mean, I loved when we went to camp. I had Lucky Charms all the time.
Yeah,
like I cannot eat them now, and it's very disheartening.
Yeah. Did we mention Apple Jacks?
No, that's what I've got on my
Apple Jacks.
next.
They used to be better than they are now, but they are still pretty good.
Yeah,
Is how I feel about them. Two things that. All right, corn pops.
I've got corn pops on here.
I really liked corn pops growing up. I believe they're still about the same as they always were, but something else I loved as a kid, but they are so different now, almost to the level of Cookie Crisp, are honeycombs.
Oh yeah,
They just don't taste like what they used to, and it's like they're like not even sweet anymore. I don't know, it's just weird. But I loved honeycombs back in the day. But I liked corn pops because it came in that big old silver bag, and it somehow made it seem like
it was
higher quality.
Yeah,
higher
like it
quality
ain't just no
cereal.
plastic shitty cereal.
You ain't seeing through this shit. It was good. It's good stuff.
For sure. But yeah, I had Apple Jacks and corn pops was the last one that I had on my honorable mentions.
Yeah, so we're pretty much on the same point. I've never had a lot of healthy cereal. I never had Special K or Honey Bunches of Oats or any of that shit.
I've had the Honey Bunches of Oats almond, and it's pretty
I would
good.
probably like. I love almonds.
I think you would. I used to. My grandmother for a long time had a Special K strawberry in the morning when we would get up for school.
Yeah.
That was cool, but that's kind of ruined it for me because we had it every single day, and it wasn't the best. It came to a point where you're like, great, now I've got to just eat this entire bowl. Because obviously that was when you didn't get your choice of whether you wanted to eat it, you just ate it.
Right.
So I couldn't have it on here, but no, those back then I did like it. But yeah, the Honey Bunches of Oats are good. And then there's this, I just lost it.
While you're looking at that, I did have a friend named Josh that one time goes, "Do you want some banana cereal?" And I love cereal, as you all now know. And I was like, fuck yeah, man, let's eat some banana cereal. Because I thought it was like some with banana milk, right?
Yeah.
'Cause I love banana milk too. And he just cut a banana up in little bitty slices and put them in a bowl and poured milk in it. And then ate it. And I was like, huh, okay. I'm all right. I don't need that because I'd hate like a little banana in your Frosted Flakes or whatever. But that was really fucking weird.
Yeah.
I always remember it.
And it was Trix.
Oh, I hated Trix forever.
Really?
They always tasted so off to me. There's something about that flavor of Trix. It was like the one the one cereal that everyone loved that I just was like, I cannot get behind it for whatever reason.
For sure.
It was like too much like candy of a taste. I don't know how to describe it. All right, well, we have a little bit of time, I think. I mean, we knocked that pretty early, so I say let's try to reach for shit to keep it going. Okay, so a little extra stuff. Did you know that when the Brooklyn Bridge opened in 1883, the public doubted the stability of the bridge, and then 6 days later, a pedestrian fell, causing a woman to scream, which led to a stampede that killed 12 people.
Oh, my God.
Public concern was only dispelled a year later when P.T. Burnell marched 21 elephants across it. People are just always been crazy is all that is.
Yeah, that's all. So the hysteria killed more people than the actual bridge? Got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And did you know it is only legal to donate blood marrow, but on the black market, bone marrow illegally sells for $23,000 per gram.
What?
I'm telling you, if someone approached me right now and was like, we need a few grams of bone marrow, I'd be like, name the place. But I mean, you have to get more than a few, I guess, because if you're getting in there, let's really get some money out of here.
Let's get it out.
But yeah, that's crazy.
That's nuts. Now it'd be a little. They're like, let's go to this, guy's house, and we're just gonna just pull this out while you're chilling there. Don't worry about it. That's nuts, man. But I feel like everything on the black market is stupid expensive. But again, it's illegal, so I get it.
Yeah. Electricity was first installed in the White House in 1891. It was such a new concept that President Benjamin Harrison and his wife both refused to touch the light switches due to their fear of electrocution. So the White House staff had to follow them around and turn the lights off and on for them. So if I'm president modern day, I'd say, trust me, it can be worse. I can make you follow me around, flip fucking light switches on.
That's crazy. I mean, but I'd like that job. How much do they get paid?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll go around and turn some light switches off. Why not?
All right, I guess my last little extra one I'll throw in here is Google Images was founded after Jennifer Lopez wore that green dress at the 2000 Grammys. Thought that was fucking crazy.
That's crazy and very random. That's awesome.
But the thing is, you didn't see the picture, and I bet you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy. So, do want to bring up next week
Yes.
is top 5 favorite Nickelodeon shows.
Top, like the next one you're on?
Yes.
Okay, because next week, again, Pow's got to do shit, and we're looking for fill-in people if anyone's in Ada, Saturday, Sunday, something like that, next weekend that wants to do it. And
At least I believe so, because we're kind of out of order because we had Mother's Day in here. So,
well, I'll go with whatever you said. Nickelodeon shows works for me. I took it off. I mowed the lawn in my Nickelodeon shirt today, and I thought I still had it on. I was like, I even have a fucking shirt on, but I don't.
for sure.
All right, and also shout out to Sin City Beats. That's CYNSITY.
Sin City?
He sent me some more beats, mainly because I was like, hey, I got some new mics. I'm trying to record some music. I want some beats. And he sent me a beat called Mo City, which I feel like was made
sweet,
for
yeah.
me, right? I'm going to put that one on the end of this one. I personally feel like it's a little too dynamic.
Okay.
For like me to properly rap over, if that makes sense.
I got you.
But I'll let people hear it. I really would love to use all of his beats he sent me to make songs to, but that's just not really how. I'm not that good. I'm not good enough to be like, you send me that beat and I make it into a song.
It.
Like I'm just not. I have a certain sound I go for of like fucking weird and creepy and
for sure
chilies lately. So anyway, that's all we got this week, and hopefully you fucking like, share, subscribe.
Email
tell people.
Again, if you want to be on a podcast, just email Mo at thepowwowwithmo@gmail.com.
Whoever pays the most money gets on.
With that bone marrow money.
Bone marrow money, son.
All right, peace, guys.
Peace.